brother met him in Iraq, and I went, really?
Why was he in Iraq?
USO type things. He was just meeting guys to be cool.
Okay. That was the best person to make it fine.
Ouch.
I'm sorry.
We love you, Dean Cain.
I do actually like Dean Cain a lot. I like to make fun of Dean Cain, though, because he's done some really terrible things. Not terrible. He has done terrible things.
He really has done some bad movies.
He's done some
I just squeal laugh.
Dean Cain has done terrible things. I'm Captain Logan.
I'm Vince.
We don't hate Dean Cain, and we'll see you next time on Geeks Not Nerds.
We love you, Dean Cain.
Welcome to Geeks Not Nerds. I'm Captain Logan.
And I am Vince.
Hello everyone, we are Geeks Not Nerds. I'm Captain Logan.
And I'm Vince.
Hello everyone, we are Geeks Not Nerds. I'm Captain Logan.
And I'm Vince.
Hello everyone, we are Geeks Not Nerds. I'm Captain Logan.
And I'm Vince.
Hello everyone, we are Geeks Not Nerds. I'm Captain Logan.
And I'm Vince.
Vince, we have just surpassed 5,000 subscribers, sir.
That's a lot of people.
Well done.
Congratulations.
I give you some of the credit.
Thanks for subscribing, guys. We really do appreciate it.
Yeah, absolutely. We'd like to thank a few people. I'd like to, first of all, thank all the Dans and Tims that have helped us get to where we've gotten today.
We have a lot of Dans and Tims?
Yeah, a few Dans and Tims. There was,
we have a few Dams and Tins.
Yeah, you know. Well, the dams help the water not to get to us while we're talking, and the tins are what we put our popcorn in.
Out there amongst all the chicks and tiggers.
But yeah,
watching our videos.
Well, there's Storage General 1, he's a Dan. There's Dan's News Machinima, he's a Dan.
And he's like, no, don't tell them my name's Dan. It's a mystery.
and then there's, of course, Tim Lyons.
Of course.
And then there's Tim Brown at the Metropolis Film Festival. So yeah, all the Dans and Tims, we appreciate those folks.
Now, if there's any Daniel Timothy or like Timothy Daniels out there, let us know and we will applaud you, sir.
Sounds like a great pen name for a science fiction author, Timothy Daniel. Or maybe not science fiction, maybe more like court drama.
Timothy Daniels. I like that name.
Yeah.
Get on it. Somebody become that person. Right now, there's a person out there going, I'm changing my name. I have to do this to change my name.
Anyway, we want to thank everybody for your support. Thanks for everybody who's bought things on eBay from the Comic Book Vault. Thanks everybody who has sent us things in the mail to the Comic Book Vault. You getting rid of all the stuff in your house that you don't want anymore. We really appreciate it coming to us. And
thanks to the handful of people who have bought our T-shirts.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
And everybody's been really supportive this year. I think so far this has been a fantastic year. We're already nearly halfway through 2012, Vince, and we have done a lot. Started a lot of really new fun stuff this year that people have really taken to really well. Thanks everybody for watching my stuff on Tick Month. Thanks for watching the commentaries. Those are going really, really well, by the way, the movie commentaries. And thanks a lot, because we're having a lot of fun making those. So we're glad people are watching them. And we're putting out a whole lot more vaults. Comic Book Late Night is back. People are watching that. It's still happening live twice a month. So tell your friends. And anyway, so
they'll run a bit. It's happening live twice a month. They'll be like, what's that? Something that's bi-monthly, I guess.
So we're coming up into our 4th year pretty soon, Vince. This is the end of year 3.
It's been 4 years?
Yeah, it really well. It's been 3. We're coming up into year 4.
Right.
We started. That's what that means. But I started Superhero Rewind in the summer of 2009, and that's also when we started Geeks Not Nerds. And
that's when I started losing weight too. What do you know?
Yeah. Well, that's why you can see that progression through the videos. You can also see me progressively gaining weight. I'm working on that.
But I'm working the other direction.
Yeah.
I'm still doing P90X.
Maybe if I worked out with you, maybe that would help a little bit. Or maybe I'd be dead. Maybe that's Vince's whole plan. Like, he's going to get me to work out with him, and
yeah, you see, I get people excited, and then they die. That's what it is. I'm like, who likes Pop-Tarts? You like Pop-Tarts! Here's your cyanide-flavored Pop-Tart.
Now run up this, like 30-flight staircase.
Yeah, I've done that before.
Have you?
Yeah. It was called running stairs. I did it when I was in football, and the problem with that is that you're wearing cleats on concrete stairs.
Ooh.
And it's hard, and it's not good on your feet and back.
They had somebody go all the way up the staircase of the Sears Tower on Biggest Loser.
Oof.
That looked hard.
That guy sounds like a winner to me.
It was a lady.
Yeah.
Who did,
that
yeah.
lady sounds like a winner to me.
Yeah. The tallest building in the United States. She had to go all the way up it. Yeah. Anyway, I don't know why I know that, but because I watched that episode, okay? But anyway, that's why I know that. So anyway, today we're going to talk a little bit about Geeks Not Nerds, and we are doing our very first Geekvolution clip show. That's right. We're going to bring to you the best of Geekvolution, some of our favorite moments, and we're just going to talk a little bit about kind of the history of Geeks Not Nerds and how things have gone, and we're going to show you some of our favorite moments. So, like I said, 3 years ago is when we started. So go check us out. We've been around for a while, but we're finally getting inventive, going out of our niche, trying the video thing.
That's right. Because we're both such beautiful people.
And Vince, do you remember how we came up with the name Geeks Not Nerds?
I do.
Yeah, can you tell us that story?
You know what's interesting is we were sitting there at Capsule Place and we were talking about what are we gonna call it? Well, we came up with a series of goofy names, and at some point I just started throwing out stuff that wasn't gonna work intentionally. I'm like, well, how about we call it Slappy Kincaid's Wild Ride?
Yeah, I kept going,
whatever.
Stop it!
And eventually I was like, we could just call us Geek Don't Call Me Nerds, blah. And the reason I said that was because of my name is Bruce Don't Call Me Ash Campbell. And,
okay, I didn't even remember that. All right.
And Cap's like, wait, no. How about we just shorten it to Geeks Not Nerds? I'm like, that's pretty good. Let's do that.
Geeks Not Nerds is the name of this show. And Vince, what is our problem with the word nerd, would you say?
Nerd, to me, seems to be a negative connotation, or seems to have a negative connotation. Yeah, sure, a nerd is intellectual, but it seems snooty. It seems like I'm better than you, and I'm a nerd.
Early on, before we had much of a following, the folks that did watch us talked about that a lot, and thought that it was kind of, it was either amusing, or they didn't get it, or they wondered like why we were making that big of a deal out of it. You know what I mean? They were like, why don't you want to be called nerds? What's wrong with that? And and that's when we started. That's when we started telling everyone, well, we're just not good at math.
Do you consider yourself to be a geek or a nerd?
Definitely geek. I'm not smart enough to be a nerd.
That's, smart enough. What are you trying to say, huh?
No, I have been informed that to be a nerd is to be, like, hyper-intelligent on one or more subjects.
Or at the very least, good at math. I don't even think about it anymore. Like, it's just kind of the name of the show at this point.
Yeah, people tend to just accept it. I mean, when we first came out, people were like, oh, Geeks Not Nerds? Why? And, I still get that from people. But you know what it is? I don't get so much the why anymore. I get the, that makes sense. I've always considered myself a nerd, unless there are people that are like, no, I'm totally a nerd. I don't know what your problem with nerds are. Geeks are just people who bite the heads off of chickens. And they're like, thank you for getting the reference.
I guess we just pretty much agree on this, but we'll pretend to argue anyway. Yeah.
I completely disagree with my points.
Vince and I just got out of college. We were still kind of studious at that point. Not so much anymore, but at that point we were still kind of studious. And
I don't studi anymore.
Let's make it kind of an intellectual exercise based on geek stuff and see if we can get anybody interested in it. And so we said, let's do a debate show. And if you're newer and you've not watched any of the earlier videos, because we haven't done this in a couple of years now, the timer thing. We used to time the show. It used to be like 10 minutes. It would be a minute apiece. Like, I would talk a minute, Vince would talk a minute on a topic, and the idea was that we would take conflicting viewpoints, and then, most of the time, we were taking conflicting viewpoints, and then we would talk for like 5 minutes or whatever it was.
But in my opinion, what you have to be in order to be a good actor is somebody who can portray several different characters. Not at once, because that's ridiculous. But you have to be able to distinctly be something different than yourself. Keanu Reeves can't do that. Which brings me to my next point, he has no range. I mean, he's serviceable in a lot of roles. This is true. He was good in The Matrix. He was himself in The Matrix, and he was himself in Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventures.
What is it that you like so much about profanity? Because it's weird. You actually say this on a regular basis. I like profanity.
I love profanity.
But why?
Why? Because it's dangerous. Because I can't say it in front of your kids.
I don't have kids yet, but
Well.
I'm about to have kids.
And I'll say it in front of them.
No, you won't.
No.
I don't even let you say it on our show.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
You don't even have the guts to go against my rules on a show on YouTube.
Yeah. This is true.
Ladies and gentlemen, for the first time ever, the F word on Geeks
Don't do
Not
it.
Nerds.
No.
Fire truck.
Well, I think that film, television, and the comics have all kind of conditioned the public to think that X-Men is synonymous with the term Wolverine. And then eventually, I don't want to say there was a mutiny, but there were a number of people who were like we really like. I think it was kind of a credit to us, and I really appreciated it. It was sort of like, we're enjoying watching Captain and Vince talk, or Captain Logan and Vince talk, but we sort of wish that they would like not stop the video before they said everything they had to say. Mm-hmm. And I think that and we time our videos again now just so that we don't talk for half an hour, because that's a podcast.
Yeah. The original intent was to start a conversation.
Yes,
so
exactly.
therefore, I would say something, he would say something, then we would converse a little bit about it, and then we would, let it for you guys. You guys would say, "Oh, well, that was a really good thing, but they forgot to say about this." And then you go to your friend and say, "Did you see that video? Here, let me show it to you. Now, this is what I had to say."
Have you heard who's playing Red Skull?
Hugo Weaving.
Hugo Weaving.
That's right.
Game over. It's gonna be a great movie. I don't care now. You've got Agent Smith playing Red Skull. It's going to be a great movie.
Yeah, but he's two iconic comic book characters now. He's V, and he's Red Skull.
I don't care.
The entire idea was trying to generate conversation between people about geek stuff. So
and I think that's still the idea. We're just looser about it now.
Yeah, I think it kind of evolved into you and I thinking, well, we do agree on a lot of stuff. So therefore, if we keep the timer, we have to sit here and come up with ways for you and I to be polarized on something.
And Vince, it's like an.
The answer is yes.
It's really is it? Is it worth seeing a movie that got bad reviews?
Yeah, sure, why not?
Are we sick of multiple incarnations of Batman and Spidey?
Yes.
Really? Should there be a Ghostbusters 3? Just generically, should they even make the film?
Nope.
And it's... well, we're going to talk about it a little bit more in depth than that.
Eventually, we ended up doing a video on whether or not people thought we should keep the timer.
Numbers make everything important. If you don't have numbers, then you don't have statistics. You can't time it out. I mean, I suppose you could sit there with your own little timer and say, well, they spent this much time on that topic, and they spent this much time on this topic. But if you have to stop at a particular time, then we know. Then we know. You see, if we don't have that, then we're just going to devolve into anarchy, and we're not going to know which topic is blending into what, and it's going to be this free flow of knowledge. And that sounds a lot like the internet.
I got a whole minute to just sit here and try to tell you why we shouldn't have a time. I don't know. I mean, I don't even have anything to say for this whole minute. I got to sit here and kill a minute's worth of time. If we weren't using the timer, we could just talk like normal people. We could just talk. So I guess I'll just, this will prove my point. You will be so bored by the next 30 seconds that you'll understand why there's no reason to use the timer. See? Because Vince could be talking and filling in all this space, but he can't because this is my time. So it's just me and you looking at each other over YouTube. We could have a staring contest right now. I'm winning. Don't blink. Don't do it.
And weren't the votes largely polarized?
Yeah,
I think we had nearly half voted for one, so that's what polarized means.
And so we didn't even decide from there whether or not we were going to keep using the timer. We just started saying, well, if it's and even before that, we had done videos where we said this isn't going to work very well for a timer, so we'll just talk about it. And I think from then on, we decided that most of our topics we were getting were things that just didn't work very well with the timer format. And eventually, we just dropped it completely. We haven't made a timer video in at least 2 years.
I'll start.
You want to start? Okay. All right. I'm worried.
I'm going to say a very particular kind of Batman. Campy Batman.
Oh, really?
Yep.
You pegged me for campy Batman?
Campy Batman.
What? I'm like Adam West Batman?
Yeah.
That's not fair at all.
Well, look at
Why am I Adam West? Why? Why?
Because you have ridiculous amounts of energy. You're just a little goofy.
I completely disagree. We've done a few more of those joke videos since then.
Yeah. Yeah, one of my favorite joke videos was the when Brandon was on the video, and we talked about what video game that would never exist we want to see exist.
Obviously, all three of ours are different kinds of games, right? I mean, like his is a rhythm game, kind of, and a driving game, kind of, and Vince's game is a first-person shooter.
They so rightly deserve it.
Pokemon.
Maybe you combine the Pokemon shooting game with Drive, so you're shooting your shotgun out the window.
Drive-by Revolution.
Drive-by.
Okay, I say that's the #1 game.
I think my favorite joke video that we ever did, which I'm surprised even worked out at all, was Nothing.
Yeah, the Nothing bit.
Hey Vince, what are you doing?
Nothing. What are you doing?
Nothing.
What do you want to do?
Nothing.
Nothing?
What are you talking about?
Nothing.
Nothing? Oh. Alright. Let's talk about nothing.
Like nothingness?
Or just nothing.
Nothing?
Yeah. Let's talk about nothing at all.
I had a nothing the other day.
What does that mean?
Oh, no, wait, that was a muffin.
No, yeah, that's different. That doesn't even really rhyme. It's a slant rhyme.
Which wouldn't make it a rhyme at all.
No. A slant rhyme is still a rhyme.
Nothing and muffin? That's a slant rhyme?
That's a slant rhyme. And back then we were at Vince's old place, and that's where we shot most of our videos, and we always had a poster in the background. That was kind of one of the big things we did every week that I think was kind of fun. We had a different poster in the background every week, and it took a long time, by the way, for anybody to ever even notice it. There were I think it was like a full year before somebody finally went, wait, does it change every week? So with the Nothing video, somebody was like, oh, that's clever. You have nothing in the background. I was like, no, look closer. It's actually a poster of nothing. We'll see you next time when we'll talk about something.
Who are you?
Oh, I'm Captain Lord.
And I'm Vince. I remind you to support your local comic book store with absolutely everything so that you have nothing.
I also think we had a lot of fun with the Watchmen video.
Yeah.
With the Watchmen 2 video.
Watchmen 2.
where we switched places and I was you and you were me.
There, people had outcries against that. They're like, you guys don't know anything about how the other one acts, do you?
Yeah, a couple people, but I think for the most part people really enjoyed it. It was more that I think more of the problem people had was that we felt the need to give me a pillow so I looked bigger. Cap, can I say something?
Sure, it's not like you ever do.
Okay, all right. Well, I have something to say right now, so I'm going to. What was it? Where's my?
You see, he can't. It's right over there. You keep it in your pocket. Let's read, shall we?
Okay. Ozymandias was the worst casting choice for that movie.
Now, I've heard that they're potentially casting Ozymandias as a new guy this time. Denzel Washington? You don't like Denzel Washington?
I think that might be the first appearance of Hatless Vince.
I think it was the first appearance of Hatless Vince.
Yeah,
we had this joke really early on. I don't know if I can find the clip, but we had a joke really early on where Vince said that he stores his superpowers in his hat, so that's why he has to wear it.
All of my comedic powers are in my hat, and if I take it off... Actually, I did do some stand-up at one point, and I just was going to go out there crazy haired, like hat-haired, and I walked up to the stage, and somebody said, Vince, coming up for the stage, and I took my hat, and I just threw it in the air, and then I went walking up there, and everybody around me who knew me, they said, no, go get your hat, put it back on. And I was like, oh, well, I guess I can't be funny without my hat.
So, do superpowers come in all hats? And for all people?
No, I generated from in here, and they hit the hat, so if I just sit like this, I got my powers back, and now we have a kid crying.
One of the early Geeks Not Nerds videos was, or maybe it was Recommends, I forget, was the genesis of the birth of Doomsvince, which started with a joke about Vince being Doomsday that I just came up with in my car. Today, Vince has a bit of a confession to make. Turns out Vince is actually the one responsible for killing Superman. It's okay, buddy. Vince is Doomsday, and it turns out, and he got thrown into the sun that one time and managed to come back and all that. And but he doesn't call himself Doomsday anymore. He's Vince.
See, I used a saw to file down all those spikes and things, and I got some tips from Hellboy. He was really helpful. When I got back from the sun, I got some aloe vera. It worked out very well for me. And I've been on the recovery road.
And then at some point it turned into Doom's Vince. I don't know if it was the same day or if it was a different video.
I think it might have. I think people were making jokes about it being Doom's Vince or Vince Day. And,
That's right, and we decided to go with Doom's Vince.
Yeah, and I said Vince Day is an actual name, so there could be somebody out there named Vincent Day.
Yeah.
So Doom's Vince made more sense.
His middle name is Timothy. He's Vince. and
follow us around.
And then
the League of Timothy.
And then later we did this pilot for a sitcom that we never did more episodes of because we just never found the time.
Hero support.
I hate everybody. I want to smash things.
Vince, we've talked about this, okay? You can't keep doing the supervillain thing. If we're gonna make this work, Doom's Vince has to be a thing of the past.
I know, but it's hard. You have no idea how good it feels to just choke the life out of some unsuspecting sap.
Yeah, no, I don't.
See, that's my point. Being a supervillain's easy. Working a helpline, that's hard. See, you stand in line at the DMV, then suddenly, Ben Smash, no more line.
Yeah, if I remember right, no more DMV either. It wasn't until well after that you came up with a voice for Doom's Vince.
Yeah, I don't know what the voice is inspired by. I mean, I guess it's the whole, the idea of the stereotypical villain, and he's always...
Well, you made him kind of a mad scientist, which he never was, or at least...
Well, yeah,
he's not really a scientist, but he acts like a mad scientist, and he was never that before.
Because they always have these British accents. If it always turns out that really handsome people, really evil people, and people who are from a country that doesn't speak English always have British accents in the movies. So, Mark Antony, of course you have a British accent.
And so then Doom's Vince started popping up. His first appearance was on Late Night.
I met Captain Logan when we were just lads. We went to school together at the university. I had several minions at the time, who he stole from me. I called these minions freshmen.
And now he's got his own cooking show, and that was Vince's first solo gig was cooking with Doom's Vince.
We're cooking with Doom's Vince.
Hello, my cooking fans, and welcome to Cooking with Doom's Vince. I am Doom's Vince, and I am bringing Doom cooking to you.
One of my favorite things about where the channels come as opposed to where we were is that we have people who will comment and ask us questions. And instead of what we used to do, which was sit around and try to generate ideas all night, and like, hey, you want to talk about that thing? Yeah, sure, I guess I know enough about that to talk about it. And then we talk. We say, well, let's see what the viewers have to say. And then we talk about what people are interested in because they've told us.
And it's so much more fun that way because we feel so interconnected to this community that's here now. Where it's not just us. We've said this a lot of times, but it's not us just talking to you guys. It's us talking with you. So first of all, let's talk a little bit about Dark Knight Rises. What do you think of that title?
See, I started thinking maybe Batman's riding an elevator, or maybe Batman somehow turned into heat. He's trapped in a hot air balloon.
No, but really.
No, really. Has he turned into heat? That'd be like a cool weapon.
I think what ends up happening is inevitably, if one of us makes a mistake, we have enough people, somebody knows about it. And we learn from it, And I mean a lot of that. I mean like just factual mistakes where it's like, oh, I said something that was untrue, or I couldn't remember somebody's name, but somebody else came back and gave it to us, and that kind of thing. And so we learn a lot. And for the most part, people aren't like mean or rude about it. It's just hey Cap, you were wrong about that, and I'm like, yes, thank you for telling me about that. I never would have known, had it not been for that. So
and it also makes me feel good to hear somebody's name given credit, like oh, thank you Super Saiyan Mexican for recommending this to us.
And today's topic comes to us from one of our regular viewers, Mega Spidey Man, who, we have, regular viewers now, man.
That's pretty cool.
I know. I can't believe it. Like giving us topics and things. Hello, everyone. We are Geeks Not Nerds. I'm Captain Logan.
And I'm Vince.
Vince, today's question comes from Invisible Jaguar 1. Today's question comes from Authentically Awkward.
We have a topic from a guy named Goodfellas 1001.
Today's question comes from I Reel in the Film. So this is a video response to Browncoat Eric's video about the 5 things he wanted to do before he died. We just took an idea from Red Robin 696.
This question is from Matthew Led Zepp fan.
And today's topic comes from Duke Loop's 1993. 10 o'clock on 1985. For GR Records. Scottish Ninja That's great. Scottish Ninja asks, who do you guys... But like, you wouldn't want to play a bagpipe and try to sneak up on people. See, that...
B. Hopkin 1.
J.D. Bernal, 82.
Pink Yellow Eater.
And all the, guests of random friends that we've had on.
Hello everyone, we are Geeks Not Nerds. I'm Captain Logan.
And I'm Vince!
And I'm Troy.
Troy is guesting with us today because he is the guy who made us go see the film that we're reviewing this week. I'd like to thank you in advance, Troy, not for bringing us to the film, but for being on the program. Okay. Today we're going to be reviewing a movie called Columbiana, which is starring Zoe Saldana and directed by Olivier Megaton.
Wasn't he on Transformers?
I'm not sure if that's exactly how you pronounce his name because he's French, but I'm going to say Olivier Megaton.
He is Megaton.
Why is it, by the way, let me just ask this question, sidetrack, why is it that is one of the first shows to wait 6 months between seasons, and it's freaking Lost? I mean, like, anyway.
To get into the plot developments, you mean?
Well, yeah, I just mean that you'll be frying your brain trying to remember everything that happens at the end of the season, and then you gotta wait 6 months.
Well, it's a show called Lost. They wouldn't want you to know where you are at any given time.
I always thought that show was about us and not about the people on the island. Yeah.
Well, and that's actually right. I mean, it's a metaphor for how we live our own lives. And I guess
it's a metaphor for how we watch television, which they get.
Well, that too.
I like what you said about it needing to be a spectacle.
Yes.
Because Joss Whedon will do really interesting character things. No matter what it is, it's going to be really interesting. Like it or not, whatever he does, it'll be interesting. But you still want it to be summer blockbuster.
Right. You need the Michael Bay in there.
But not
as much as we don't like Michael Bay.
But
Michael Bay has his strong points.
But I think we need.
None of them are in story.
I think what we need is about 15% Michael Bay, really. And
I go 50-50.
50-50?
Because you need a good story as your backbone. So that's where Joss Whedon would come in. And then you need the spectacle, action, big set pieces.
Minus all the off-color gross stuff.
And minus Megan Fox.
Pastor, who would you say you read the most?
Aquaman. The original Aquaman. The only Aquaman that counts. No phony thing on his hand, no weird long hair and beard, but the original Arthur Curry.
So every other Aquaman has problems with addition and subtraction.
Well said.
It's not necessarily ineffective advertising. In fact, I'm entirely certain that somebody probably bought a pair of these because of the advertising. But the Levi's commercials on TV right now are driving me insane. Sinewy races, get your tan-faced whatevers, call to arms, and go fight shirtless while dancing around as a hippie wearing Levi's? This makes no sense. It bothers the crap out of me. Seriously, it keeps me up at night.
It doesn't want me to buy. It doesn't make me want to buy jeans. It makes me want to watch really absurd movies.
It makes me want to take up my arms and go fight some wars, and I don't do that.
Especially wearing blue jeans.
Yeah, but they're not Levi's.
Brandon we've had on somewhat regularly. He's been on probably like a dozen or so shows.
Yeah.
And in fact, we've talked to Brandon about doing his own show, and he just hasn't had time. But yeah, I just want to go on record to say that if Brandon ever gets the time, we will give him his own show.
Today we have some very interesting news to share. It turns out that our buddy Brandon has been cast as the new Captain America.
Yeah?
Yeah, I know.
Sure.
Vince, I'm just not sure that he's right for the part. I'm not sure he's the right body type, personality type.
He's a little too, Kansas.
Yeah, and he's played a Marvel character before. I don't know. I'm not entirely.
Sometimes we get questions that we don't feel can generate 10 minutes or 15 minutes or half an hour or however long the podcast needs to be.
Yeah.
But sometimes we'll get questions that we feel we have something to say, but maybe we just want to address the topic. We don't necessarily feel we can explore it. So we fit those into the multi-topic extravaganza. And
I don't want to toot my own horn, but that's the best name I ever came up with. Mediascope Review asks, are there too many types of kryptonite?
Yes.
Yes. Yoda5740 asks, are superhero films dying?
No.
No. That's how we do things at Geekvolution. We won't just do a Q&A. Oh, no. We will come up with some ridiculous name. It's an extravaganza. It's the second week of part 2 of the multi-topic extravaganza.
Man, that's like
right.
2 2s in a row.
Yeah, I know. It's nuts.
It's almost like a dress for a ballerina.
Or Two-Face.
Or 2 shelves of Two-Face.
That's right. When we were in college, You know, you and I would be between classes, and we would just have these like long conversations about like movies and comics and things. And then after a while, we were just like, we should be recording this. Like, and I bought a camera for no good reason because I just thought having a video camera would be fun. And then one day I was like, hey Vince, we should just like hit a record button when we're talking. And Vince was like, who would listen to that?
I wonder if it did it have anything to be generated from the Many Faces.
I think it probably had a lot to do with Many Faces. Yeah, talk about that for a second.
Because before we actually started doing Geekvolution stuff, well, with the original Geekvolution, we were doing that stuff. But before we started doing these videos,
just a text blog, yeah.
Yeah, exactly. He would just pick up his camera and just point it at me and say, "Hey, do stuff," and then I would do stuff because I have a theater on stage background of improv and memorize scripts and whatnot. So I would just do these random things, and then Cap would just pick up his camera later and do it again. So
and I would just compile all these clips over a 2 or 3 month period, and then I would turn it into this 15-minute show called Many Faces of Vincent Haskins. But we didn't post it anywhere. We just made it for us.
This is a lot like my yearbook photo. They flew a plane over the top and they dropped a camera guy out with a parachute. I was out on the front lawn of the White House.
Yeah. The original intent was that he was going to do one for just about everybody that he knew. And the trouble is...
Oh, yeah, I forgot all about that. But nobody else wanted to do one.
Exactly. So the only friend he had that wanted to do it is me. And I don't know. I'm pretty comfortable in front of a camera.
Yeah, I was gonna make like little mini documentaries, except you're talking about yourself and there's no actual structure. It's just like I create the structure after all the stuff is shot, and I just make up questions on the spot. Yeah, I forgot all about that. It's been years now.
We'll call it a self-umentary.
And I went over to a friend's place, and his mom was there, and I hadn't seen her in a couple of years. So she says, "Hey Vince, how you doing?" And I said, "Well, I'm fine. What are you doing this summer?" I said, "Trying to lose weight." And she said, "Oh yeah, what for?" And I said, "Oh, there's a number of reasons." And she said, "Ah, what's her name?" I said, "Back problems."
My favorite video was the Drive-By Revolution and the Nothing video. I loved the Nothing video.
I have a lot of favorites. I really enjoy. Is Captain Logan too obsessed with Star Trek?
Okay, first of all, I think we got to address the fact that he has a lot of Trek stuff. Now, when I say a lot of Trek stuff, what I really mean is, people have like a wall of Trek stuff, or they have a wall of comic book stuff. This guy has enough stuff that he has it dispersed throughout his house. Like, that stuff, that ain't it. That's a lot, but that ain't it. There's more stuff. He's got batleths. He could injure people with his collection. That's my... See, yeah, okay. Now, moving on. He has a rigidly organized Trek club. A rigidly organized... They have things that they do throughout the meeting that now, granted, it's a Trek club, so they have to. But, you see, this is my point right here. Boffer weapons. Now, the Trek club, he has people... It, sucks people in. They're like vampires. They turn people into Trek. I've gone to the club. I have a title. I'm in the club. I'm in the paperwork. I know nothing about Trek.
And it hasn't seemed to mess with my life. In fact, I think that it's helped me.
He has a Q costume. He has
Hold on. Ben, look, you can't start that until I get the... Okay. Until I get the 3 minutes up. Now hold on. Okay, go ahead.
He has a Q costume.
Of course, the Nothing video, all the joke ones.
The joke ones tend to go over pretty well. But I don't think the joke ones would have nearly as much impact if it weren't for the discussion ones.
Problem is, in a lot of these shows, and then we get into things like Gilmore Girls and stuff like that, in a lot of these shows, the very next episode, they haven't learned anything, they just do it again. Mm-hmm. And then they do it again, because we can't think of anything else to write. And then you get, like you said, impressionable people, impressionable teenagers, who are people, starting to live that way, going, this is the way life is. People keep secrets from each other.
It's kind of interesting to me. It seems like
what a teenage drama is sort of a children's show for teenagers, teaching them a moral lesson, saying, well, this is what you shouldn't, like, these are the reasons you shouldn't do this. But when it gets to the next episode, nothing really bad's happened to anybody, because of course you can't have something horrible happen to a youth. So,
unless they're a crypto freak.
Or Buffy.
Well, hey,
she sent her boyfriend out. Oh no, I can't say that on.
People have really made us think a lot, about things that I never would have.
Favorite decade.
That was cool.
I liked the favorite decade.
Because we're going back to a lot of our earlier videos right now.
Yeah, I mean, that's the thing about favorite decade is you had to decide the reason you want to live there, despite the fact that you know all the flaws within the decade.
Most of my favorite Batman arcs happened in the 90s. I'm always talking about No Man's Land. I'm always talking about Nightfall. That was all 90s. 90s gave us Power Rangers. A lot of fun stuff came out in the 90s. So. It was a period of let's do fun things.
Let's do fun things. REM. So you got to turn the head around backwards.
we gotta drink our orange crushes.
Orange crush.
All right, 3 minutes on the clock. Let's do the 50s versus the 90s. I know I'm not gonna win. Okay. Thanks a lot for watching this special of the best of Geeks Not Nerds. Hope you enjoyed it. Hope you enjoyed all the clips. And thanks a lot for subscribing and for watching. And we will be around and we will continue doing this as long as there's folks interested. And it's great. We're having a great time. We are still, after 3 years, having a fantastic time.
Yeah,
we're here to stay.
Don't you go changing. It's a Blues Brothers reference.
I got it.
Oh yeah?
Yeah. Anyway. Thanks a lot for watching, as always. I'm Captain Logan.
And I'm Vince, reminding you to support your local comic book store or YouTube channel.
Support your local YouTube channel.
That's right. All you people in Kansas City, this is the one. So, line up. Let's support this thing.
That's something else we didn't talk about. Stingers at the end of videos.
If you think Spider-Man 3 is the most amazing movie you've ever seen, put that in the comments below.
You're totally right, man.
I wish we had the hoverboards, but we don't.
Oh man, that was a way better idea. Why didn't we do that? Crap.
So you just made fun of Tennecocken or whatever that guy's name is.
Oh. Stab me. Hello everyone, we are Geeks Not Nerds. I'm Captain Logan.
I'm Vince.